Hi everyone, I am Joseph P. Bugnot and welcome to my blog. And this is how I turn my academic failure into lesson for success. Today, I want to share a personal story about something that really changed the way I see myself, how I learned to turn failure in academics into one of my greatest lessons in life. You see, when I was younger, I used to think that getting high grades was the only measure of success. I always wanted to make my parents proud and see good marks on my report card. But one day, that belief was tested. I still remember it. I still remember it clearly. It was during my second year in high school. I had been struggling with math for weeks. No matter how much I tried to understand the lesson, the number just didn't make sense to me. I spent hours reviewing, but every quiz seems harder than the last. When the exam result came out, I saw a big red mark on my paper. I failed. My heart sank. I felt embarrassed and disappointed in myself. I thought maybe I'm just not smart enough. For days, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I avoided looking at my teacher or my classmates because I was ashamed. That failure really affected me. I started losing confidence and doubting my abilities. I thought of giving up and just doing the bare minimum. But one afternoon, my teacher called me after class. She said, "Joseph, failing doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you need a new way to learn." To those words stuck with me. I realized that instead of avoiding my weaknesses, I needed to face I needed to face it. So I made a promise to myself. I wouldn't let I wouldn't let one failure define me. From that day on, I started to change my habits. I asked questions in class. Even if even if I felt shy, I studied with my friends, watched tutorials online, and practiced every day. It wasn't easy. There were still times when I got low score, but little by little, I improved. When the next grading period came, I didn't expect much. But when I saw my grade, I couldn't believe it. I passed it. Wasn't perfect, but it was big improvement. I felt so proud of myself, not just because I passed, but because I didn't give up. That moment taught me something very important. Failure is not the end. It's a sign that we're trying, learning, and growing. Sometimes failing is exactly what we need to discover our strength. Since then, I've learned to see challenge differently. Whenever I struggle in a subject, I remind myself that learning takes time and effort. I don't compare myself to others anymore. I focus on being better than I was yesterday. Now, when I look back at that moment when I failed on my exam, I don't feel ashamed. Instead, I feel grateful because that failure taught me perseverance, patience, and self-belief. So if you're going through something similar right now, remember, failure doesn't mean it's over. It means you're on your way to getting better. Thank you for watching my blog. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire. See you on the next one.